Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to our discussion concerning the Breadwinner Challenge for Men that's coming up this coming Monday. I'm your host, Dr. Ken. You all know me, and for those of you that are on for the very first time, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to have a powerful conversation tonight with some men uh, that are renowned in their own right, and just some men that I feel have the kind of character that are leading their families and are doing the things that I think is important today for men. And so today we're going to deal with one of the most challenging subjects that men have, and that is the area of provide. Never has it been a time in the history of our country where men have felt the pressure to provide. And there's pressure to provide, there's pressure to lead, there's pressure to pay bills. And in some cases, in many cases, it's pressure to just leave a legacy at large. So I believe that this Breadwinner Challenge is going to change lives beginning on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because we're going to teach men to go from being survivors to suppliers. And that's the whole objective is to get you to be not just a survivor from paycheck to paycheck, from week to week, month to month, but I really believe it is God's will and plan for every man to be a supplier. And that's what a breadwinner is. A breadwinner really is a supplier. A breadwinner is not just one that provides finances for his family, but they take the responsibility to provide and to create wealth not only for their own family, for the entire community. And so the Breadwinner Challenge begins this coming Wednesday night, and we're going to talk with some men because listen, these guys are going to share with you, so I believe, some good stuff, and they're going to help you and I see why more than ever before, like no other time, we need to be sitting in rooms like the Breadwinner Challenge. Now, the three things we're going to discuss at the challenge, and I'm telling you, it's going to be life changing. I'm going to share things that I can't share in church. I haven't shared in church, but I know it's going to completely change and transform men's lives financially. But we're going to talk, number one, about the mindset. I'm going to spend a lot of time with that on Monday night because there's just too many assumptions that we have that are blocking the information that comes to us, and we're wondering why we can't just get past these thresholds mentally, financially. We're going to tear those things down on Monday night, show you these false beliefs, and show you how to overcome them. I'm a living witness. You can do that. Then we're going to deal on the second day with the actual mission of a man. Now, the mission is more than just understanding you're to provide. The mission is showing you how to uncover your niche, uncover your specialized knowledge, uncover your superpower, and how to discover the gifting. Sometimes men are gifted and they have talents, but they just don't know how to hone into their niche. They don't know how to hone into their purpose. Well, we're going to deal with that on the second day, really deal with the mission of men. Men understanding what their mission is. And then the third day is when we're going to get into the actual money. Well, we're going to see on the third day all of the different opportunities that are out there for you as a man. How do you set up the 4S structure that I've taught men, and I'm going to be teaching in this class? Your strategy, your structure, your system. Are you listening? And the stewardship to take your life and finances to the next level. So all of that is what we're going to be discussing. But before we do, I got some men on tonight, and we're going to ask some questions. And guys, we're just going to open this discussion with some men I have with me. First, Kevin Kelly, who is the father's coach. He has an awesome podcast out of Delaware. Pastor Kelly, and just a friend of mine, and tremendous men's coach. Kevin, introduce yourself. Come on, say hi to our listening audience.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me here. My name is Kevin L. Kelly. I am the father's coach, and why am I the father's coach? Because there are a million coaches out there, and so God really led me to just do the father's coach, just narrow my objectives. And with the father's coach, we reform the image of fatherhood in our culture, and we talk
All
about the
right.
five F's. We talk about the five F's there, Dr. Ken.
Yeah, I had the chance to be on Kevin's
Yeah.
podcast. Tremendous podcast. Check him out. He's on Instagram. Great guy. Beside him is actually our worship leader, but also a gentleman that's done very well in the area of finances and knows what it is to be a man to provide. Will Davis, go ahead and introduce yourself, Will.
Good evening, everybody. Like Dr. Ken says, I'm Will. I'm glad to be here and to share with you all tonight. I'm the worship leader at Dream Life Worship Center in Randallstown. And recently, over the past 5 years, due to mentorship and guiding at Dream and relationship with Dr. Ken, I started a real estate company with a growing portfolio. As well as getting ready to launch some music, stuff that I would have never done had it not been for a connection with Dr. Ken and Brother Lamont through the years. But glad to be here.
All right, Will Davis. That's Will Davis. Lamont Jackson, my good friend, successful businessman out of Baltimore, doing great things. Also, Lamont, introduce yourself and tell them what you do, man.
Lamont Jackson, serial entrepreneur, mainly in the area of real estate and real estate developer, developing a good portion of Baltimore City and some of Baltimore County, and own several businesses as well.
Okay, all right. We're gonna hear some great stuff from Lamont tonight, and then Jabin Ferrer. I got it right, Jabin.
You almost, sir. Ferrer. We right
Correct.
there in the
There we
neighborhood
go.
though.
See, that ER gets me confused, but Jabin, another very powerful corporate man, businessman, man of God, out of Texas. Jabin, introduce yourself, sir.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Jabin J. Ferrer. Project Ace Project Group is my main company focused on leadership communication, but long history in project management. But in good company here with some other brothers that I'm hearing, real estate, also some trading in the markets, and serial entrepreneur, always wanting to build something and bring solutions to God's people into the world. So glad to be here, part of the conversation.
Great to have you a part of the conversation. And one of the reasons why I asked all you guys, in particular to be on, because all of you are strategically chosen, is because I know all of you have a passion to help men, and many of you are already doing programs. Some of you are doing master classes. Some of you are doing personal coaching already. So I wanted you guys on because I feel like, have the pulse of what men are dealing with. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. Now, if you are on watches, I see men are coming on, people are coming on. Just let us know in the comments. You don't have to be a man. We hopefully a lot of women are watching. But if you are a woman, you have to be watching. Invite your husband, invite your uncle, your nephew, your father, your grandfather, because we're going to be sharing some powerful things tonight. And it really doesn't matter where stage they are in life. The economy's changing, things are shifting, families it's changing, and we need to understand what we need to do. All right, I'm going to call them one by one, and we're just going to jump right in there. Let me start with you, Kevin, the father's coach. In your estimation, what kind of pressure are you hearing from men as fathers to provide? Let's talk about some of the things you're hearing, because you have a podcast. You talk to men every week. Talk to me about that.
The pressures that I'm seeing that men are having is having one stream of income, one stream of income, and they worrying about the economy. And one thing that I've learned from you is that you help with the framework and constructs. You being my wealth my wealth coach, and going went through your training, you've allowed me to help. If I didn't go through you, I wouldn't have published my sixth book. Which is the Footsteps of a Father, and
Mm.
and just another stream of income and the systems and everything. And I think that's what's missing. Men don't have those systems and the wealth concept. They all just have just one. I just go to work and come home. Go to work and come home. That one stream is not enough for this, for what we're doing, for what we're facing now in 2026.
That's so good, because we're going to tap into that the third day. Really, everybody's talking about multiple streams of income, but then you also, the next step is to know how to do the multiple streams of income. How do you add them to your life, and which ones do you add? But that's a good point, because things have changed. I often say in the 70s, just dad went to work and mom stayed home, but all that began to shift as we reached the 90s and 2000. Men started taking part-time jobs, women went back to work, and so most households needed 2 to 3 incomes just to survive. But today, today you need at least almost 3 to 4. And we show you how to do that in the Breadwinner Challenge. Now, for those of you that are just caught on and are watching, if you are a man and you have not signed up for the Breadwinner Challenge, listen, I hope you can make it every day, but at least come a day or two to the Breadwinner Challenge. It starts this Monday night. On below on your screen is how you can register. You can register now at iamabreadwinner.com. I am a breadwinner. Register now, no cost. We want to see you in the house, in the room on Monday night. You can do just that. Let me see. Get these people back on. Chop it off the screen, Lamont. I was just about to call you.
Yeah, I don't know what is going on with my thing, but I got it now.
You got it. And you look good. Now, this is a whole lot better because I don't know
Yeah.
what you had going on before. You look like a little bitty man on there before. But Lamont,
My
listen, I worked with you
apologies.
for years. You know, I've seen you really grow as a businessman and even in our church. Uh, and you deal with a lot of men who are just stuck. And you've helped countless numbers of men. Talk to me. Why is it that you feel that men are stuck right now? Why do they feel lost and stuck when it comes down to especially this area of providing?
I think men are distracted. There are a lot of distractions in the world now. It's probably
Sure.
the biggest thing that I've experienced.
Good.
And just, I think they're overwhelmed with a lot of different things. And sometimes a job can be overwhelming, and sometimes that job can also be a distraction for you as well. The main focus needs to be on you, what you
Oh,
want to do.
you just said
Yeah.
something very powerful there. You said the job can be a distraction.
Yeah, the job can be a huge distraction because that's not going to be what you ultimately love and want to do. So if you can get beyond that job and start doing some things that you like to do, I think you'll increase your faith because a lot of times the job lets you down.
Come on.
And when the job lets you down and everything's against you, the family and everything is just beating on you, now you have to get renewed energy and renewed strength.
I teach
Uh,
people job means just over broke.
Yeah, it does that. And if you haven't figured that out by now, but here's the thing, there are things that are available, such as this. You gotta tune in. Just be around it. Just be around something positive, and things will eventually shift. Just be around it enough so you hear something that will cause you to study. Study something different. People um, think the Bible is great, but it's not going to transfer knowledge. It's just not. I
Not
wish it
well,
would.
it's not what please clarify that, what you mean by
Okay,
that.
well, not the knowledge that you're going to need financially.
Yes,
It's
yes.
not gonna teach you how to manage your money, how to write a check, how to do different things like this. It's just not gonna do it.
Come on, sir.
So if you can get in an area that can provide some sort of expertise, you'll start to grow from there.
Yes, that's excellent.
Start to grow from there. So
You and I have traveled all over the country in paying money to get in certain rooms. And we know the importance of paying high price to get in certain rooms. If it's no more than this changing your mindset. I remember a couple of years ago, you and I was in the room with Myron Golden. And
yes,
anybody that knows how much it costs to get in Myron, I had to literally take a loan out to get in that room, y'all. Listen to me. Seriously. But you know what? It paid off. I made the
absolutely.
money back and I'm still making it from the day I just and all a lot of people that you see on Facebook, Instagram doing big things, telling them out they were in that room.
A lot of people,
A lot of them
anybody
were
that was
sitting right
making
in
money online, I was shocked to see him in that room, and now I
that room,
understand
man.
why. But you have to, to me, paying the money is like a cheat code to get the information. You're not assured to get the information if you try to do it all on your own.
Yeah, that's
Just
good.
doesn't work like that. If I could pay somebody to learn in 1 hour, 2 hour, or 1 day, what it's going to take me 5 years to learn, and I may not learn what I really need to learn anyway, then I would pay it. It's like a cheat code. You have to do it. I've done it. I'm still doing it.
Somebody said if you think education costs a lot, try ignorance.
Absolutely.
Ignorance. Go now, Will Davis. Will Davis, you know what it is to sit in a mentor class, coaching class, to pay a lot of money. to get in the room. Talk about your experience. I know you were in our master class a couple of years ago, but talk about that experience in our master class and how that experience being in a room like people are going to be in on Monday night and Tuesday, how that helps you, what that does for you.
Yeah, it is. I guess piggybacking off of what Lamont just said, it is. It's a challenge to invest in yourself. It takes courage and faith to invest in yourself. And I've seen folks be skeptical about investing to be in those rooms. It's like that show Hamilton, In the Room Where It Happens. One of the things that Dr. Ken has taught, and I'm throwing your words back at you, you would often say the next greatest gift, the next greatest anointing is going to come through proximity, right?
Mm.
There's some people who join a class and thinking you're going to get this magical principle that you wrote down, that you're going to strike something on your keyboard and next thing you know it's $1 million. What you're paying for and investing in is being in the room in proximity, because you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I changed my top 5, and the money came with it. I want to say one other thing. In that class, there are multiple ways that you can, focus on being a breadwinner. If we're talking finances, one of the ways that I did it, and I teach young men as well, is through real estate and credit. And Dr. Ken said one time, "You don't have any competition when it comes to real estate." And I said, "What do you mean?" Because there's tons of real estate investors. I'm not sitting on a bunch of cash. He said, "That's not what it's about. You don't have competition because there are very few people out here who have discipline, and you have discipline." And the thing that has blessed me is not that I've been sitting on a bunch of cash. It's amazing where the money comes from. It amazes me. But what I do have is discipline. I could keep going, Dr. Ken.
That's good. No, we're gonna talk a lot, man. You guys have been
Yeah.
amazing so far. Jabin, you listen, man, we talked, you and I, many times about the mistakes that men have made and we've all made, and financially. Tell me, when do you think you shifted? What shifted it for you in terms of your mentality that you can actually do this thing as a man? What do you think did it for you?
Having daughter after daughter after daughter. I have four girls. Okay, so been married 24 years, had my first girl, 2 years later had my second girl. They just girl after girl just showing up. And I'm trying to think about what I haven't heard so far in the conversation. Very like-minded with you guys. Expenses, and the perception that expenses are rising, because they are rising.
It's right.
But sometimes it goes back to basic budgeting, just on a simple level. What are your needs versus what are your wants? And upbringing is a big part of that. I grew up in the background where we didn't have much. So you tend to, and especially in our culture, you tend to get a little bit of money, you tend to make it rain a little bit. And sometimes you got to learn, like either I'm going to learn by making it rain and the expenses are still going to add up, and I'm going to keep doing that and keep myself in a hole, or I'm going to have some discipline, as my brother was just saying, and kind of tone it back a little bit. And then over time, start to be more responsible. So I think for me, as I started having more children and started having more and more expenses, and now most of my girls are out the house. I got one left, but it still doesn't stop, because you got schools, you got weddings coming up. You want to sow into them, you want to be a blessing, and so you just have to take control of things now. You can't wait for a better day tomorrow and one day I'll do this, one day do that. Guys, we got to take control and responsibility right now.
Now, you said something very powerful. I love that, because that's been somewhat the theme of my financial ministry, taking control of your own financial destiny. When you just work a 9 to 5, and when you don't getting the different rooms that we've been talking about tonight, getting in the room, getting the exposure, getting the education, you are when you are just waiting on your refund every year from the IRS, you are not taking control of your own financial destiny. I think that may be the reason why many church people are not getting a breakthrough financially, because they're used to just saying God's going to do it. God's going to open the door. Guys, instead of applying works to their faith, we have some powerful people on. I see Apostle Damien is on with us. I see Marcus Gill is on with us. There's so many others who are watching. To listen, if you just tune in, this is our Breadwinner Challenge conversation, because the Breadwinner Challenge for Men actually begins on tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Eastern, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm going to pour into men information, revelation, and inspiration on financial things that you haven't really heard before, guys. You say, how do you know that? Because the money, if I had to spend to learn it. See, finances is a game, the economy is a game. And Jesus even said himself that the children of light, of darkness, are more wiser than the church when it comes down to finances. So a lot of the stuff I had to learn to get breakthrough in my financial, I didn't learn it in the house of the church. Now, it'd be good if the church can really teach you how to prosper, and they should. But the things that we're going to be talking about the next 2 or 3 days are things that I just came out of the room with Myra Gowen a couple of days ago, and new things are happening. We're going to unfold that to you. But here's one of the main things I'm going to deal with is mindset. Mindset. I want to talk about mindset. Because I don't think people really understand when you hear that expression mindset. They don't really, they just think it just means get more information. Talk to me a little bit, Kevin, about mindset and how what happened to you when you were in some coaching sessions of mine, some mentoring. What happened to your mindset? Talk about that.
My mindset shifted being in the last coaching class with you, and you interjected something called debt into the conversation, and I was like, yeah, I want to get rid of debt, and there was a whole conversation about removing the debt in order to move forward. And
We
I
talked
think
about because removing the consumer debt, not the investment
that's
debt. So
correct. And one thing that the brother Jay was talking about my daughter watching my wife and I enter into different rooms and having more time available because of the different streams and the different businesses that we have. It's amazing. Now her mindset is changing. Now she's changing. Now she has different options. So my daughter is looking at me and my wife saying that you guys making an impact to certain people. We knew that. We in the trenches, so we're not even thinking about that. But for her to say that, I'm like, wow, we are. I am. So that's a mindset shift, and we just been pivoting. And I think just as with us sitting here in this room, we're being transformed all the time. Every room I go into, I'm open. I have my notebook right here. I'm ready. I'm already been writing notes already. So my mindset is changing already. Even what Brother Lamont was talking about, I'm like, wow, I need to grab that. I need to grab that key that he has. The key means access, right? So the key that he was talking about is their jobs. Some people's jobs are a distraction. Even just unpacking
that was
that a little
powerful.
bit.
That
Wow,
was powerful.
and so that's even changing the mindset here. These clues, these keys that's being lobbed out here. I think that the people are being blessed by just this session right here. So thank you for this opportunity.
Awesome, awesome. Lamont, tell us where in your life you came to the conclusion that I can really prosper and be a provider and be a breadwinner for as a black man in America. Because there's a lot of guys in church that use education as an excuse. They use their pedigree as an excuse. But when did it click for you, being a man of God, that you know what? I can do this thing? Because you've been very successful at it. But talk to me.
Mute, sir.
I can hear you now. We can hear you now.
Okay,
We can hear
great.
you
For
now.
me, I was a professional architect and working for another company, and I got laid off. And to me, I got laid off for absolutely nothing but doing a great job. And when I did, I realized that life wasn't fair. So I immediately believed in myself, and I fed my mind consistently. That was my only focus. I didn't have work. I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything else. I constantly fed my mind, and I changed the direction in which I was going based on that. Within 6 months, I had my own firm, couldn't be laid off anymore. I struggled through it. I fought through it and never looked back from there. And I've done countless things and had my own firm for 23 years. And that's with no experience in running a business. I didn't have coaching or anything like this. I just changed my mindset right on a turn. That was it. That's not going to happen to me again. So I'm a firm believer of you can do anything. You really can. But I believe classes such as this and taking a mindset course really does matter. You're not going to be able to do supernatural things with the mind that you have now. Everybody claims I'm a millionaire, I'm a multimillionaire. Actually, you are not. The person you may become might be, but you're going
That's
to be becoming. So people stop claiming that stuff because you won't be if you don't change your mindset and change a lot of your habits and get more disciplined. It's a pattern when you do those things. And when you start to walk in that light, sure, every single thing is possible, but it's not going to just fall out the sky and you're automatically gonna gain wisdom. And changing rooms, being in an environment where um, people will be able to pour into you more, throw around ideas, different things like that. I don't want to stay on the phone too long if we're not talking about something that's going to be financially, that you're going to make some money from. That's a waste of time for me. So, but it also, I believe you have to learn it, but it also has to be taught. You have to put yourself in an environment to be taught. Transferring knowledge, transferring mindset doesn't just happen. You need
that's
a certain level of information for that to happen.
that's
And sure, you can do it on your own, but you'll quadruple the time in which you do it, which time is the greatest commodity. So that's going to be, something that you'll have to overcome as well.
Guys, we're talking, and those of you that have just come in, we're talking about the 3-day breadwinner challenge for men that's going to begin on Monday. If you are watching now, you have not registered. It is absolutely free to register, everyone. You can register right now at www.iamabreadwinner.com. Listen, it doesn't really matter what your income level is. If y'all can mute yourself for a moment, it doesn't matter what your income level is, what your income level may be. It really doesn't matter. Um, if you can get in a room like this, I guarantee you your life is going to change. And so I want you to register to now. If you have not registered, one of the greatest public enemy number one to financial breakthrough is procrastination. Men are spending millions of dollars today, and women, to learn how to not procrastinate. It is just that type of disease. And so today I'm challenging you not to procrastinate and register right now for the breadwinner class. I can't wait to see you there on Monday. Let's go. Okay, I want to talk to you, Jabin, because you're kind of in two worlds. You're a corporate man, but somewhere along the line, as a provider, you understood that being corporate was not enough. Uh, Talk to me about that. We can't hear. I'm sorry. I got to unmute you. I had to mute everybody because somebody had noise in the background. Go ahead, sir.
Mic check. We good?
Yeah, you good.
I'm glad you asked me that because the reality is the vast majority of people are not going to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah, it's just good.
Now they have the opportunity to; it's available, but for whatever reason, most people are going to take probably what seems like the easy road until you realize that this is it's not. There's no control down this road. There's more control on the other way. So the way I've leveraged it to talk to those people that most of them are going to work a job or in a job, and maybe you want to make a transition. Make the most of the moment that you have right now in that job. Learn as much as you can. Corporate for me has been a training ground, and I would say free training ground, almost like they were paying me to train. Now I still have to turn around and do a good job so I can continue to get paid for that training. But I've learned how to manage large budgets. I've learned how to deal with difficult individuals, how to manage up, how to lead. And it's been all with the contributions that I've made that has been able to take care of my family while I've done things on the side. And then at the right time where I feel like, God is opening up doors for me to take what I've learned and now go execute on my own. that's a path that I've taken. So for guys, some guys that are going to be like my brother Lamont, where it's like, you know what, that's it. I'm doing this for 20 years and I'm just going to jump out. Other brothers going to need a little bit of time to kind of get the boldness, get the skill set, get their mind right, and then at the appointed time make the transition. If they never make the transition, the best thing you can do at least is be excellent in the work that you have before you.
That's good stuff, because your job or working many times can be a training ground for the next level. But I always say you can always start small but think big. And so even if you are working, like you said, learn the skills. That's what happened to me. But while I was in an accounting office learning taxation, but while I was there, I started my own tax practice. So I was doing taxes. So there's nothing wrong with being bivocational, nothing wrong with being what I call a dualpreneur where you're working a 9 to 5, but you also have a business on the side. Because as was shared earlier, Kevin, I think, shared this, that you're not going to make it with one stream of income, two streams of income in a household. With the economy demands you to have, I think we're up to what I call the Garden of Eden principle. In the Garden of Eden, there was 4 rivers that flowed into Eden. And one of those rivers we know will Havala go, but these rivers were pictures of, I call rivers of income, rivers of, because money represents, we also know water in prosperity and money in scripture, because like money, it flows, its currency is very fluid. And so 4 rivers was flown into Eden, 4 rivers. And I believe we're getting back to that. I don't know how anybody can make it today without having at least 4 streams of income. You got to have, and if you don't, I'm going to show you at the Breadwinners Challenge that third day how to begin to create other streams of income. But also, more importantly, I'm going to show you how to do that, and also show you what is working for men today, what the top businesses, top gigs that you can get into. I've done research as a man and get going. And unfortunately, you're not going to get this in church. And I hate it because I believe that in the kingdom of God, we should be the wisest people concerning money, stewardship of God's riches and wealth. But every time now you even mention the word prosperity in many churches, they get nervous and say, oh, that's that prosperity doctrine. So they rather stay broke, rather stay crying and begging God for things that he's already anointed us to get for ourselves. So I appreciate you sharing that, Jabin, because you do have to, everybody's not ready to jump into entrepreneurship, but they can get ready and they can start preparing themselves to be ready. There's very few 9 to 5 millionaires. I don't really know any, to be very honest with you, because it's not, the system is not designed for you to be a millionaire. It's
It is
not
not.
created.
If I can interject and add just one point here,
Please.
I don't know what the source of this from, but I got it from a friend of mine. Maybe y'all know the source if you heard it before. He says your boss is not going to pay you enough to be his neighbor. Your boss is not going to pay you enough
Ooh, is
to be
that
his
good?
neighbor.
What?
He gonna give you a little bit more every time to make sure that you're doing your job and that you're around, but he don't want to come out his crib, get ready to go to work and wave to you and then see you at the office. That's just not what's gonna happen.
Oh, that's powerful. God, is that true? Man, is that true? Will, talk to me, man, because I'm one of the areas I'm going to talk about is mission, because I think that men are stuck with just working at a job, and they're missing their gifting. They're missing, I teach that it's your gift that makes room for you. And oftentimes you really don't get that financial breakthrough until you find your gift. I know for me, working many years on a 9 to 5, when I discovered my gift, that's when things began to open for me. Talk to me about purpose. You're a man of God. Why do you think it's important for a man to find his purpose? I want to hear that also from you, Lamont. What's the difference between that person that just goes to work day to day and that person that finds their gift, their time? Go ahead, Will. You start first.
there are so many people that if I can use this term, many of us 9 to 5ers, sometimes folks can be dead behind the eyes, right? I'm stuck in survival mode, and you don't experience life until you're connected to purpose. If your 9 to 5 even still is not connected to purpose in some form of fashion, you got to either get out or switch. You've got to be connected to purpose. Anything that is still is gonna be dead. You've got to grow. And I'm gonna say this, Dr. Ken. There were many times that I would do ministry, right? And I would do ministry on the side, international ministry. Wouldn't do a whole lot of posting. Try to keep it quiet because I didn't want to upset my 9 to 5, the golden handcuffs, right? So I've got purpose over here, and I'm trying to separate purpose from 9 to 5. And I'm speaking to somebody in the room, right? Because there's so many people who have a dream, have a vision, feel like they have a purpose, uh, and they hide it, but other people know it and will bring it to your attention. Recently, I was ministering somewhere, and it just so happened I'm a 9 to 5er, dualpreneur. My boss's boss's boss happened to be in the room while I was ministering.
Wow.
Called me to her office that next week, said, "I want to talk to you." And said, "Apparently you are gifted beyond this job." And
Wow.
and said, "God is gonna open up a door. And when he opens up the door, you gotta leave here." This is my boss's
You got to be
boss's
kidding me.
boss.
Your boss's
Their
boss told you that.
political appointee said, "Your time on this 9 to 5 is coming to a close because you're too gifted to be here." It's many times that people will be in your path and can see where you're supposed to go, and believe in you even more than you believe in yourself.
That's
But you've got to have faith in your own purpose enough to invest it beyond the distraction. One of the things I noticed is the moment it seems like I'm almost ready to invest in myself, some other problem comes up to distract you. Something happens that
Ooh, that's
distracts you. I
good.
heard Lamont say, there's some conversations I have to exit at this point. If you're going to be lamenting about the price of gas, I got to go. If you're going to be talking about the price of groceries, it's up. I don't want to hear that. I got to go. If you're not
Come on,
feeding my purpose,
that's good,
then
man.
I,
Wonderful.
Ti said, if it's not about the money, you got to miss me with it. Dr. Ken, I know you don't like Ti that much, but that's my man. If
No,
it's
no,
not
no, no,
about
no.
purpose,
No.
I can't be involved.
I'm not against Ti at all. I just said that he's not. I'm not a fan of him, but he's a sharp brother. I mean, I listen
Yeah,
to some of the things he shared. It's just that I'm not into some of the things that he believes and things that.
absolutely,
But no,
absolutely.
he's a sharp brother. You can get a little bit of wisdom, man. I'm sitting here just exploding. I know the mind is too, because you ain't the same man we were just a couple of years ago. You don't even talk the same.
Nah.
You were talking like them church folk a couple of years ago, and let me just ask you a question. Do you love Jesus any less than you did 2 years ago? Do you love Jesus any less, Will, than you did 2 years ago?
Absolutely not.
You're more on fire now for God. So, but your mindset has just shifted because, and this is why to get in the breadwinner challenge, God, we got about 15 more, 20 minutes we're gonna be on, and we'll let you guys go. So, but we still got a few more things I want to cover. This is why being in a room like the Breadwinner Challenge for Men, which is taking place this coming Monday night, you can register now. You see the ticker on the screen at www.iamabreadwinner.com. It is absolutely free. But this is why it is so important to get in a room like this. You said something that I had to interject, and I'm going to have Lamont talk after this. You said you had someone believe in you. Les Brown taught me years ago that sometimes you got to follow other people's belief in you until yours kicks in. And until yours can, and that's why coaching is so powerful. That's why being in rooms like this is so powerful, because someone has got to see something in you that you don't see in yourself. And really, that's why Jesus was so awesome in choosing his team, because Jesus would see things in the people and he would call it out because they couldn't see it. And sometimes you don't know you could be bigger than what you are. that you have a greater purpose until you get into a space where someone is talking to you and speaking to your spirit and telling you that you're greater than where you are. So that blessed me, Will. I know it blessed Lamont tremendously. But go ahead, Lamont. I'll talk
Yeah,
about.
Will, yeah, Will, that's good, man. Will came in and everything was super spiritual, and we're listening to him. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that is, I mean, that's amazing, and I'm glad to hear that you're doing some pretty amazing things, and I knew you would. That's great. It kind of messed me up for everything else I wanted to talk about. I forgot everything, so I had to write new stuff down. But so purpose really, it'll introduce you to yourself. It gives you something big to go after, to look for. It almost like, it's almost like your purpose will breathe life into you. And that's what it did for me. I had a greater purpose than my fear. I had a
That's
greater
good.
purpose than my ability at that time. Uh,
Mm.
I
Wait, time
believe that
out.
all
What did you say?
things,
You said you had a greater purpose than the current ability that you had at the time. Wow.
yeah, my ability at the time didn't matter. I did naval architecture. You know how much experience I had in that? Zero. Absolutely none. I spent the weekend in a library. Why? Because I had a passion for design and I had an opportunity that I didn't want to pass up. So, my purpose in wanting to do design and to be recognized and to do greater things took me literally all around the world, and without experience. It's a little bit of experience, but not enough to be able to do some of the things that I've done in that field. But that purpose gave me a lot of exposure in the earth, gave me a lot of exposure in ministry, and it also allowed me to sow into a lot of ministries by way of design. I've designed a lot of
Yes, you
churches
have. You
up and
sure
down
have.
Baltimore. And a lot of times I really consider that to just be a labor of love. I just don't have an opportunity to do it as much as I used to now, but I didn't do it for the money. I did it for the purpose that was on my life to do different things such as that. But it also gave me a lot of experiences in life that helped me to do the things that I do now. Uh, Business wise, money was always a purpose, and not just because it could buy things. I'm not a waster. I don't waste money. I don't waste time or anything like that. But it's also one of those things that you don't necessarily, you always wonder, like, what are other nationalities doing with their money? And then what are we doing with ours?
Wow.
Like, why weren't we given, and this is my credit 110% goes to Dr. Ken. Why were we not given the principles when it comes to financial wealth? I've never experienced that in church. I never taught that. It was always, how can we unfortunately get from you? And I think
Mm.
nowadays, Dr. Ken pouring into people not just financial hope. That's great, but where are we going to go from there? But actually, financial knowledge. There were booklets, pamphlets, and my greatest one was, and Dr. Ken, you know this, the poverty mindset.
Oh yeah,
You
that's
know,
safe.
when we've been talking about the poverty mindset series for over close to 20 years now, you know, but all of that came out of a purpose to do better and to do more things. So the purpose for me is just to be able to do more with the ability that I've been given, and it'll carry me to places that I never imagined. But I'm also a person that is, well, wants my mind exposed to more. So it does take a lot of individual time studying and learning and
Yeah,
training to
researching.
do the things that I know are coming, because a lot of things are in store, because I do write things down, and I know the things are going to happen. So a lot of that comes into play as well.
Listen, I want to shift a little bit with Kevin and Jabin because I know how important fatherhood is to them. So everybody that's on here, they're on here for a reason. And Kevin, you have the podcast, The Father's Coach. Jabin, that's all you ever talk about is your daughters and providing for them. Legacy. One of the things I'm going to deal with in the Breadwinner Challenge, especially that third day, and somebody probably needs to mute themselves. Um, in the Breadwinner Challenge, leaving an inheritance for your children's children. I'm going to talk about the estate plan. I'm going to talk. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to give it all away. Okay. There's no way. But I'm going to give you enough for you to get hungry to go to the next level. But the legacy, how important is legacy? Uh, we know we have to leave a spiritual legacy, which is number one. Let's put the word of God, put the truth of God in the hearts of our children. But secondly, I think is also financially. Um, how important it is, and how important it is to you, Kevin, that we begin to create wealth for the next generation.
The last 4 years, I've partnered with some school districts to do my leadership curriculum in two different schools for third, fourth, and fifth grade boys, third, fourth, fifth grade girls. Now, most of the people that the staff sends us are, of course, those that are considered at risk. So instead of we being uh, counselors to them, we actually teach them leadership skills. So we teach them the 5 F's: faith, family, friends, fitness, and finances. And
Mm,
even just a simple thing as finances. They didn't know what finances were. People 5 years old, kids 5 years old didn't know that finances mean money. So
mhm.
even teaching them those things, and also out of that curriculum, we were teaching them, because this is legacy. We were teaching them that you can make money. If I give you a $5 bill, you can make money. You can go to a dollar store, you can buy a case of water, you can do this, that, and the other. Introducing those investing mindset, changing their mindset at a young age, giving them something because they don't have fathers, so being their surrogate fathers, and showing them this is what you need to do, because at the road that this school is taking you, they already got you on a hot bus, And so the way we're doing is we're teaching them leadership principles, which is finances is one of the major ones that they're going to need, because they're going to take that for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, nobody taught us legacy division beyond our current situation and current family matters. I'm going to dig into that the third day. I'm telling you guys, I got programs I'm connected with that can develop an estate plan right away. I've given myself over to this because I want to help men. So it's just going to be so much. But this is a big part of a program. Jabin, talk to me, man. I hear you all the time. That's a big thing with you, man. Talk to me about legacy and why do you think it's important to build that generational wealth?
So I'm gonna tie something together that was said earlier about our community, our culture, where we learn things. Right, I've been through undergrad economics, I've been through grad MBA. In none of those programs did I learn how to really manage money or how to make money and grow. All right, so plug in for you guys that are out there
Wow.
listening for the Breadwinner Challenge. The
Wow.
way you learn really is by apprenticeship. It's really by being in rooms like this. It's really by mentorship, like hand to hand. I've been in some rooms recently with some of our other brothers and sisters who look a little different, and the
All
way
right. All right.
they manage and the things that they have access to, some of them
Mm,
younger than me. And I'm like,
yep.
how have I been through all of these things and have all these experiences, but I don't have what you have? It's because we need to be mentored and need to be in close proximity. So coming through those programs, as I started to have kids, I said, you know what, I got to teach them myself. And so I had to teach them about credit. I remember from real young, I would create little scenarios on the whiteboard with little characters I make up. My girls will tell you to this day. We had Big Shirley and Small Paul. Big Shirley was giving money to Small Paul. Now Big Shirley, that don't age too well today because people get sensitive. But Big Shirley, what's happening, right? So you create these characters, and they remember about he got the money, and this is what he did with the money, and he have a credit score. So I found little ways to teach my girls age appropriate where they could understand about money, and as they got older, when they go out, they have a leg up from everybody else because they're not learning that in schools. So legacy definitely starts at home with the things that we've learned sometimes the hard way, and teaching our kids in order to be able to go out there and be better stewards. And the more we learn as they leave, we got to keep those conversations going. on some
Yeah,
regular
man.
basis, right? We got to make sure we continue to bridge the gap between the generations, because then kids will go out and they want to do their own thing, but we got to close that gap and make sure we're transferring knowledge and we keep that communication close.
Oh man, that's so powerful. So we got about just a few minutes left, and I want to just make sure I share some things. The breadwinner challenge that is coming up, it is really, I believe with all of my heart, it is a calling for men to be breadwinners. I I want to say one reason why I'm saying it's bigger than the money. Not to say that money's not important. It is. It's a lot of it is centered around how to get money flowing in your life. But the mindset that a man needs today has to shift. And I see some young guys watching now that's on, and I'm so glad they're tuned in because you have to shift your mindset. And things I was telling somebody earlier today that things are moving so fast in the economy now with AI that if you are not, you're going to get so far left behind if you are not in the right room learning what you need to learn now. And I'm going to expose you to a lot of that. We're going to deal with mindset first. We're going to tear down a lot of. Here's a big one that I'm going to talk about, and I probably shouldn't even share this right now, but I am. Is the whole idea of security. Um, we've been so trained on just what we call getting security, financial security. And anybody that has been any successful in anything will tell you that you got to take plenty of risk to get to where you want to go. I'm still taking risks to this day, okay? To get and so, but the idea and mindset of the assumption of always looking for that security is also one of those things that we're going to deal with in terms of understanding that if you're not a risk taker, if you're not willing to invest in yourself and give and pay money. Now, one of the things we're going to do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there is a VIP segment. I hope those of you that are watching or listening to this, we are doing a VIP segment an hour beforehand. So the challenge starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, but the VIP section is 6 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. I mean, 6 p.m. Eastern, excuse me, 1 hour before. And some people guys have already signed up for that. Well, I'm going to really be personally coaching and really give you that time that I need to give you. And also sharing things that I'm just not going to share in our free channel. But it doesn't matter. You're going to get enough to take your life to the next level. So if you want to get in that VIP session, I'm going to even ask Lamont to probably join me a day or two in that session. So you can just, it's just some personal conversation. We'll go a little deeper. So you can register for that. When you go online, you can see it. I know we have people, a couple of guys that have already put in for the VIP. So that is going to cost you a little bit. I think it's just $49, but the actual class itself is free. I want you to register right now. We're super excited about you being a part of this great conversation training. We are going to talk about some things that you have not heard before. You say, how do you know that? Because they just came out. Okay. I was just in the room earlier this week that blew me away. And I said to myself, Lord, you always got me in these rooms, and I know you got me in them for a reason. But I am not going to give it to people that are not hungry. So you got to be hungry, and you got to be wanting to be a part of at least, if you can't make all 3 days, make at least one day. Make at least one. But I'm challenging you to set aside these 3 days. One of the things I'm going to show you is really how to create value. Because if you don't learn how to create value with your time, then nobody's going to pay you to do nothing. You see, you people have got to start finding you. I know you looking and searching and trying to get. No, you got to build your life to a place where people are finding you. And how can you be found? Well, when you become a person of value and create value, I'm going to show you how to appreciate your time and not de-appreciate your time. So those are little secrets you're going to get. And if you listen, you're just not going to learn it in the church. And most places to get what I'm going to share with you, you're going to have to pay a lot of money. So be a part of that challenge. I'm going to hear some closing remarks from all of these men. Thank you guys so much for being a part. All of you are outstanding. Kevin, Will, Jabin, Lamont, I appreciate it. There's several other men we could have had on here tonight, but I'm so glad that you guys did answer the call and we're willing to get on tonight and share out of your hearts. Okay, I want to hear like closing remarks, and then I'm going to share a few things, and we're going to be out for the night. All right, let's start with. We'll go back reverse. Let's start with Jabin. Give us the last few words and what you want to say.
Yeah. There's a quote that I like. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. And in many different ways today, we're experiencing a lot of hard times by default. So men, you have an opportunity. It's an opportunity to be a strong man and create good times for your family and future generations.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, man. That's powerful. Go ahead, Lamont. Lamont, you share some
He's muted.
last words.
Put yourself through the test. I'm sorry. Put yourself through the test. All of this information that's being shared, you could possibly never hear it again, never come across it again. And that's a big risk to take. It's free. That's a gift right there. Take that gift and expound upon it, make more out of it. And for yourself, you deserve it. You deserve it to your future self. Look at yourself 10 years from now and ask that guy, what would I do?
Wow, that's awesome. Awesome. Okay, talk to me, Will.
I'm gonna give you two quotes, one from Dr. Ken, one from Lamont. All right. Um, so what Dr. Ken told me, he said, what many people lack, they don't lack talent. You lack exposure. And there are many of you all who want to be part of this challenge. And though we grow in knowledge, what we don't lack is a whole bunch of talent. What we lack is exposure to information that you're going to get over the next few days. One time I called Lamont, had a lot of struggle, some things were not going right with real estate. And he said, Will, you're going to experience problems that the average person would never experience, but you're also going to experience success that the average person would never experience. When you invest in yourself, you can't be scared of the problems because you're going to experience problems greater than the average person. But your success is going to be much greater than the average person as well.
Woo! Man, that's good stuff, man. Thank you for sharing that, Will. Kevin, last words.
Last words is invest in yourself. Get in this room. Dr. Ken and his team and Brother Lamont, they're going to hit the home runs for you. This is going to be it. Get in the room. I've been changed. I've pivoted my life. Get in the room.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. So, a couple of things that you get ready to leave. Listen, I believe that the breadwinner is a statement. It's not just making money, but it is a statement that you make in the earth. And so, what I want to do is expose you to some things you can do. You can begin to get some product right now. Oh yes, we got some product for you that you can begin to pick up now. If you decide to do that, we got some product for you. You can go online and you can get the breadwinner information, breadwinner product, and all of the good stuff that we're providing hats, we're providing shirts. And I challenge some of you who are going to be a part of that challenge to go ahead and get that thing right now. Go ahead and get it right now. Pick a hat up, order a shirt. Right now, the breadwinner, it looks something like this, and the hat looks, but you can get a white one. Like, it's just going to be amazing. But you can order it now online, so go ahead and take advantage of that. And that be it for tonight, guys. You were tremendous. Thank you so much. I trust that every man that's listening, you were blessed, you were strengthened, you were encouraged, and you were inspired. All right, guys. Blessings to you. Thank you for being a part of this experience. Those of you that are watching, I pray that you will take the opportunity and know that now is your time to make financial change. All right. Blessings to you. We'll see you on tomorrow night.